Hello, my friends. Happy Monday. Today I just want to chit chat a little bit. I just had therapy and I just got home, so my mind's full of positive ideas and good advice from my fabulous, wonderful therapist. So, yeah, let's get into it. It's a good Monday. I feel like that's a rare thing for me to say. I always have therapy on Mondays, so I always look forward to Mondays, but a lot of times, I usually try pretty hard to challenge myself in therapy so that having therapy on a Monday, I like to talk about what my goals are for the upcoming week, what my goals are for the year, and then smaller goals throughout the year and stuff like that. So Monday is kind of like goal setting day, and like I said, I do make the decision and the choice to challenge myself and to make goals and challenges for myself, but can also be daunting, I guess, sometimes. So frequently I'll come home from therapy on Monday afternoon feeling like, okay, I have a lot of work to do. Usually my work is cut out for me, but nonetheless, I'm sensitive, and I think a lot of times feel like my goals sometimes can be too ambitious, etc., etc. Right? Imagine that coming from me, too ambitious, but hey, it is what it is. I don't usually share my goals with people, with the exception of my therapist. That's why she's, an important person in my life. And I really appreciate her. It's, anyway, I'm going way off right now. So, what I wanted to talk about today, is purpose. I was talking with my therapist a little bit today because, last night and the last couple days I was having some of those moments where I was like, what is everyone's purpose here on Earth? What is my purpose, but not just mine? What is the purpose of human existence? And I brought this up to my therapist today. She's great. She's very cool. I really like the way she thinks. She's got a great sense of humor. And of course she says to me, well, Libby, nobody knows. And, you have to laugh at that. Nobody does know, and, people, she reminded me of this today, people will try to convince other people that they know, especially when it comes to religion or morality or things like that. And you get people that will go around preaching or spreading ideas or thoughts of what they think the point of human existence is, but nobody knows. And, I sit in there in her office and she's watching me think. She's like, I can see you're deep in thought. What do you think? And what are you thinking? And, to bring up the word daunting again, is it? Yeah, daunting. If you think too deeply about the fact that nobody knows what the point is, and you hear people say all the time, well, you have to create your own purpose. You have to be your reason. You have to come up with your reason. You have to, go on your life journey, on your path, and along the way find your reason, or multiple reasons. Your reason might change every day. I find that all the time as a person who is, I've been told by important people in my life that I have no integrity, and I'm not going to argue with that. I change my mind very, very frequently. I'm just one of those people. I am very, very easily swayed. If somebody comes to me in a debate or in a discussion, I can change my opinion about something very, very easily. If somebody is has a good stance or a good position and is, I don't know. I'm going off again. I'm trying to stay focused here. So, also, I have a little side note. Cheyenne Sanford, thank you for stealing all my lighters while you lived here, because do you see what I have to use? This, just open this. Handy flume. This is not, this is for lighting candles. This is for lighting fireplaces. And I know for a fact I hid at least one lighter from you so that you wouldn't steal it, but now I just searched everywhere. I have no idea where it is. So, thanks to you, I will be tasting butane. Cheers! I hope you're having fun in Virginia, pre-military boot camp. So, goals, ambitions. Your purpose in life is what you feel passionate about. It's what you feel drawn to. It's what you feel drawn to doing, drawn to sharing with people, drawn to helping other people with, etc., etc. This is just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. This is just me rambling. So, I talked to my therapist about how much I love art and music, and when I was 14, 15, 16, I started getting really depressed. I started struggling with mental illness and really, really deep depression and suicidal thoughts. And I wanted back then to work through my depression, work past my depression and mental illness and mental struggles and emotional challenges and issues, and become a leader and a role model and a mentor for younger kids that had the same, that had struggled with the same issues, whether it was depression, suicidal tendencies, sexuality, anything like that. Because I felt like at the time that I was growing up, I didn't have a lot of role models that I really felt were there for me to look up to. So that's what I wanted to do when I got older and when I, grew through and grew past my stuff. So there's still a huge part of me to this day that still wants to do that, whether it's through music or through art. When I was 14, I started doing black and white drawings, and I started drawing out all of my emotions, and a lot of it was very subconscious, right? I didn't know what I was doing. It was just like a weird instinctual response to the depth of emotion that I was feeling that I could not verbally communicate. So, I remember, there was times growing up, I really loved my English teachers, especially in high school. And I thought I wanted to be an English teacher at some point, which is in the same vein because, working with people sharing art, right? Writing is an art, poetry is an art. I got really excited about poetry in 10th grade English class and really loved my English teacher. And I thought, okay, maybe this is something I can do, right? So, there's times when I wake up in the morning and I know for a fact I want to spend all day singing and working on music, covering songs. As an artist, I always feel like covering a song is like only half doing what I want to do, because I want to create something new and share it with people and have them be inspired by some new words or some new composition of music that they haven't yet heard. And I think about, I did a video a while back on the topic that we are all one. We are all the same energy, we're all the same love, we're all like the same human in a billion 6 billion, 7 billion different bodies. But we're all one soul or one spirit or one being, one energy, force, whatever. And I think about all the songs that I love written by different bands, different musicians, different artists. And if we're all one, then I wrote those songs. You wrote those songs, you know, all my best friends wrote those songs. And the musicians that wrote them, it doesn't matter that I've never met them before or that I didn't physically write it in my body. Like, if we're all one, if we're all connected, then, like, Stephen Jenkins, who writes Third Eye Blind songs, like, I wrote those songs because we're the same, you know what I mean? So, just a thought. Makes me feel, like, better about doing covers, because I love doing covers for so many reasons. There are infinite number of songs out there that have been written that I absolutely adore, and I'm just in complete awe and completely inspired by. But I didn't write those songs, but I really, really, really would love to sing them, and I feel so good when I do sing them. So, I don't necessarily always have to sing just songs that I've written, and I can feel like, you know when you hear a song and you sing it and it just feels so good, and it's like, I didn't write this, but I feel each and every one of these lyrics and, like, this music so deeply in my body. So. Who knows? I'm such a goof. But I'm learning not to take life so seriously. People are very aware that I'm a goofy person and that I'm silly. But at heart, dude, for so many years I've been taking life so seriously. Since I was 14, everything is the end of the world, everything is such a big deal, and I literally have to remember every day when I wake up, it's not, you know, I have to have more fun with it. So, enjoy this song, I love this song. Chase it down together, if we can find our own escape. yeah. I am not the best person to be giving advice. But if there's one thing I want to do that I've always wanted to do, that is to help people. And I don't know if that's like a common human desire. You think about how many jobs are out there, how many roles in society are. And essentially, if you break it down, you can say every single role, every single job is helping, right? Yeah, you have nurses and doctors, people that work in hospitals, literally saving people's lives, whether it's physically or psych hospitals. How many people in my life am I, like, endlessly grateful for? Counselors, mental health workers in every hospital I've been to that are just like big kids, that's like kids older than me that have a role of being a guidance counselor or being a mental health worker, being someone to talk to. Like when I'm in the hospital, they will come into my room and just check in with me during the day, like, hey Liv, how are you feeling? You want to talk about your emotions, and that can be the difference between, I'm not gonna say life or death, but like having hope, having like faith restored in your life. And my therapist was talking today about faith, and not meaning faith religion wise or even spiritually, but I guess you can put it into a spiritual sense, but having faith that what you're doing is absolutely the right thing. No matter what you're doing in your life, you are doing the right thing, and you don't need to worry about whether or not it's right or whether or not you're on the right path, because you are. No matter what decision you make or what path you are choosing or which branch or fork in the road you choose, it is the right, you are making the right choices and you're doing the right thing no matter what. Yeah, back to like jobs and roles in society, right? You have the people that are working the register at CVS. They're helping you. How would you how would you buy your stuff if they weren't there? I mean, you technically walk out of the store with it, but that's stealing and that's not good. Not saying I haven't done it before, that's something I'm trying to get over. Actually, that's a whole other issue itself. I have mixed views on that. I don't have mixed views on that. Stealing is a victimless crime. Go steal. See, this is why I'm not a good person to be giving advice. This is terrible, and I'm gonna put this up on YouTube anyway. That's not good advice. Don't steal, because you could potentially get in trouble, and it's not worth it, because it's, like I said, it's a victimless crime. It's stupid to do something like that, and the consequences way outweigh the actual action. So, alright. Let's not talk about my opinion about stealing, because not like it matters. This is YouTube. People say whatever they want. Alright. I'm trying to be helpful right now. So, yes, every job out there, every role is a helping role. Whatever anybody does is essentially helping. Even if somebody's a complete jerk to you, they're helping you. I read this thing the other day. Let me bring it up and I'll read it. Alright. The Frozen Bird. A little bird was flying south for the winter. It was so cold, the bird froze and fell to the ground into a large field. While he was lying there, a cow came by and dropped some dung on him. As the frozen bird lay there in the pile of cow dung, he began to realize how warm he was. The dung was actually thawing him out. He lay there all warm and happy and soon began to sing for joy. A passing cat heard the bird singing and came to investigate. Following the sound, the cat discovered the bird under the pile of cow dung and promptly dug him out and ate him. Morals of the story. Number 1, not everyone who shits on you is your enemy. Number 2, not everyone who gets you out of shit is your friend. Number 3, when you're in deep shit, it's best to keep your mouth shut. Now, as far as the 3 morals go, I don't agree with all 3 of them. I really only agree with the first 2. When you're in deep shit, it's best to keep your mouth shut. I don't agree with that. If I'm taking it as what I think it means, if you're in deep shit, why would you keep your mouth shut? You can sing for joy. I don't know. Also, it's good to talk about stuff when you're in deep shit, vent, and ask for help, so I don't agree with that. Disregard that. Number 2, I also don't love that because I feel like that's kind of a super negative view to say not everyone who gets you out of shit is your friend. Well, obviously not everyone in life is your friend, but then there's also that saying that I learned in like 8th grade from my 8th grade English teacher. She said strangers are only friends we haven't met, and I love that because as a little kid whose parents were always like, don't talk to strangers, right? And I was like, oh, strangers are not strange. They're not gonna hurt me, they're not cruel, they're just friends I haven't talked to yet. I really like that. It's also a really optimistic view, and I really like that. Like, you don't have to be afraid of anyone. There's no one out there that you should be afraid of. Like, technically, anyone can be your friend. Give everyone the benefit of the doubt. Nobody's born bad. Everybody makes bad decisions to different degrees. Everybody, whatever. But also, that's all relative to deconstructing morality. But, not everyone who gets you out of shit is your friend. I guess I can understand that, to be honest, as somebody who has a rich dad who's also an asshole. There's been times when he's bailed me out of situations, but I still think my dad is a complete asshole, and I wouldn't he wouldn't be a part of my life if it was up to me. Really, unfortunately, I am somewhat financially dependent on him. But that's my own fault. And, yeah, I think that was probably the first thing that, like, occurred to me when I saw that. Not everyone who gets you out of shit is your friend. Like, somebody might be influential or, like, have the funds or powerful enough to bail you out of a situation, but that doesn't necessarily mean that, like, they have your best interest at heart. And again, I'm not saying, like, you need to be, like, don't be negative. You don't need to, like, look at it like, ooh, paranoid. That's not what I mean. But the first one, not everyone who shits on you is your enemy. I love that. I love that for so many reasons. Not everyone who shits on you is your enemy. I was bullied in high school for being gay. I was the first kid to come out in my tiny little high school, which, that's a whole nother thing. Maybe I'll tell that. Anyway, it was my first year in a public school. It was sophomore year. I was repeating my sophomore year because I had been at boarding school freshman year and the first time I did sophomore year, and I had some troubles there. I ran away from school, whatever, all kinds of shenanigans. And so I came home, moved back home with my parents, and I went to this public school that's a town over from me. But since my town, Essex, is so tiny, we don't have a high school, so it's shared with Manchester, that's the town over from me. It's a tiny little high school because Manchester is also a tiny town, so it's Manchester-Essex combined school district. It's small. To me it was big because having gone to private school my whole life, like, private school is small, there's not a lot of kids there. Even boarding school was relatively small compared to this public school, but for considering public school, I guess it's small. Having heard from, like, other kids, public schools can be really, really big. So anyway, small school but really conservative. Manchester is, like, a pretty conservative town. Essex is, like, a fishing village, but I guess the area that I'm from is absolutely very, very conservative. So anyway, I was a sophomore, and I came out, and I was bullied. I'm not gonna cry about it. Like, I'm over that. I'm really, really glad that I was bullied in high school because it's made me who I am, and it's made me, like, a musician and an artist. And dude, if I wasn't bullied, I wouldn't be me. I'd probably be really boring. But what the heck was my point here? Oh, not everyone who shits on you is your enemy. So actually turned out that some of the kids that bullied me previously to me coming out were some of my best friends. Guys that I hung out with, back then I mostly hung out with guys. and they were my bros, and then they found out that I was gay, and not so much my bros anymore, and to this day, I'm still thankful to them, regardless of what their reasons were for, like, not being cool with my sexuality or my sexual identity. I'm glad they did what they did. I'm glad they reacted in the way that they did, because it made me stronger. And I never really did consider them my enemies. I've never considered any bullies to be an enemy. It's like, I understand bullying, because I've been on both ends of it. As a little kid, I was kind of a bully. Mainly to, like, my cousins, and but, like, for stupid reasons, because I was really insecure, and I don't know if that's not always why everybody is a bully. Sometimes it's because, like, you're a certain way that they don't agree with, like being gay. Like, if the guys that were my friends didn't agree with being gay or understand it, like, that's why they, whatever, didn't want me to be gay, whatever. There's a whole, I feel like I'm being, like, so immature about this topic, but it wasn't, like, my intention to talk about it, but now I just am. So, not everyone who shits on you is your enemy. So, I think, like, there's that, and then there's the other thing of, like, I had a friend pretty recently that I made locally in my town who, I guess it's just, like, a really honest person, like, very blunt, which I absolutely love when people are honest and blunt, because it's like, you can't get better than that. You don't want someone that's gonna bullshit you, especially if it's a close friend. You want them to be honest, and I guess I was just like, this was, like, really refreshing, I don't know, but, like, fresh to me, because I had never had a friend that was, like, so brutally blunt about stuff, and I remember being like, whoa, dude, like, it was, like, everything, like, my weight, like, my physical appearance, like, anything I did, and I absolutely loved this girl, like, she was wicked cool, I loved her bluntness, but I guess I wasn't used to someone being, like, so raw when it comes to, like, just telling the truth, and so, I definitely felt like I would get shit on all the time by her, but, like, I kind of loved it, because, like, she was one of my best friends, and so, like, it was one of those things where a lot of it was kind of like a siblingship, like, your siblings will shit on you, no problem, it's not even, that's just how siblings are, but, I guess, I don't know, at the time, I remember there were certain things, like, when we stopped being friends, we kind of got into, like, a little bit of conflict, stopped being friends, and I remember being like, why was I friends with her? Like, she was not so nice. But then I was like, no, you know what, it was part of our friendship, she was just a very honest person, and in a lot of ways, I really, looking back on it, really appreciate that a lot. It's, as opposed to, like, I'd much rather have a friend that's brutally honest to the point where it can kind of be stingy and sore, than have somebody that bullshits you, or just, like, tells you what you want to hear, or is, like, tells you that you look good, or that you look perfect, or all this stuff, because that's not real. And another thing I was talking about with my therapist today is, like, this idea of perfection. Like, she knows I have this tendency to idolize people, especially if I have, like, a new friendship, or a romantic relationship, or a crush on someone, or whatever. Like, even if it's just somebody that I look up to and I'm fascinated with, that I have a tendency to put them up on a pedestal and literally tell them that everything they do is perfect, like, everything about them is absolutely perfect, like, they are the embodiment of perfection. And now, I'm not going to disagree with that, because from the way I am, like, my spiritual mindset is that everybody is 100% perfection. Each and every single one of us. Everything is, if you want to look at it in a really optimistic standpoint, everybody's perfect. Flaws included, and like my therapist reminded me today, a lot of times flaws can make that perfection, right? Like, I tend to get along with goofy people that are silly and that are very open and honest about, like, maybe their social anxiety or their awkwardness or something that, like, they might be insecure about, but I absolutely am drawn to somebody that is upfront about stating what they are insecure about, or what they feel like is, like, a tragic flaw or a big flaw that they don't like. I like the honesty that someone can bring to the table when they're straight up like, oh, I have this, like, I hate this about myself, or this makes me insecure, or whatever. Because I think part of sharing your flaws, that can make somebody, well, yeah, I think that makes you more perfect, because you're not trying to hide something, and you're not trying to live a facade that you are actually absolutely perfect and flawless. And I think that admitting your flaws can kind of make you flawless, if you get what I'm saying there. So, getting back to, I'm trying to remember what my point was here. I had a point. At some point, I need to just, like, let myself get on YouTube and just ramble, and not worry about the fact that like I may have forgotten what my original intention was with like sharing something or a thought, but I'll get there. I'm looking and seeing that this video has now already been half an hour, so I might end it. I can talk forever. I mean, probably everyone can, right? That's part of being human. Unless you really don't like talking. It's ironic that I'm making this video, though, because today my plan walking into therapy was to talk to my therapist about, like, I don't know, what do they call it? Like a silent boycott or whatever, but like purposely not talking for a while to, like, express my feelings about whatever's going on right now in my life. Not anything particular, but just like, oh, I feel a certain way, I'm not gonna talk to anyone. And then, like, people will understand, like, I just don't want to talk. I don't know, talking's nice. You just have to get into the right vein of, like, talking about things that you... Sometimes talking about what's bothering you helps more than just not talking at all, so... I'm trying to remember, why was I talking about the... Oh, not everyone who shits on you is your enemy. Sometimes people give you shit, and sometimes it's because they love you, or they really like you, and it's like, they're envious of you, and, sometimes, like, it's something that, I don't know, they're trying to help you, like, it might be subconscious, it might be the universe's way of working through them, and trying to help you through something, but it's, like, coming out in the form of an interaction or the words of another person that's like trying to help you get through something or get over something or work on something. So sometimes that's why. I'm not saying it's good to go around spewing shit at people all the time, and that, like, that's, you know, but it is what it is. And when it happens to you, try and make the best of it and understand why and what you can learn from it, what you can get out of it. So sweet. Alright. Yeah, that's that. That's it. I hope you guys have a wonderful, lovely Monday night. I love you all. Thanks for watching me and my silly self. Oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? Nothing, I'm perfect. Perfect with my flaws. Alright, I love you guys. Bye.